Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome to Beach Walk Blog. Today we are talking about the runner's rehab and why you need it, why you should get it. So the sling method is 5 sections. The runner's rehab is the first section. And what do? We look at why you are injured. We look at the cause of your injury or injuries. And we assess your running gait. We assess how you run, how you move through your gait cycle. Now, I'm not going to talk about the gait cycle or whatever today. What I'm going to talk about is what we do in the runner's rehab. Now, like I said, the runner's rehab, the first part of it is the assessment of your gait, the assessment of your gait cycle, the assessment of how you move when you are running. And this really shows us all the information that we need to know, because it shows us exactly how your body moves during the gait cycle. That means that the forces that are being determined by how you move and where they go and what your body has to deal with. Now, if you've got somebody who is moving in a specific way and it causes them to land in a way that creates a lot of force going through the leg in a specific way that's going to cause the other side hip to drop, or it's you're moving in a way that your upper body doesn't move optimally, or your arms are staying too straight, or your legs are staying too straight, or your pelvis isn't moving very well. Any of these things are going to show up in your gait analysis, in your running analysis. And that's a really great thing, because what we do in the runner's rehab is I actually show you how to assess your own gait, which is really cool, because that allows you to do that as many times as you want. You could do it once, you could do it twice, you could do it 100 times, but your ongoing assessment of how you move is super important, because it keeps you laser focused on the causes of the overload that are causing your injuries. Now, what do we do after that? Well, say we start working on the mobility drills and the self-myofascial release work that is in the first section of the runner's rehab. And those self-myofascial releases, they are soft tissue releases, they're soft tissue mobilizations, and we use specific tools: tennis ball, lacrosse ball, theracane, football, soccer ball, basketball, different tools to get into different areas to help us relieve the tension that is in those areas of our body, so that we can then change how the nervous system perceives how we can move. Now, the reason why you move the way you move is most likely because of habitual situations, i.e. maybe it's the way you sit, maybe it's the way you stand, maybe it's the fact that you've had 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, and you haven't properly rehabbed your body into a way that allows it to move better. Maybe it's because you've done lots of bodybuilding, or because you played soccer, or because you played golf. One-sided movement dominated sports are very impactful on your gait cycle. Things like squatting with weights on your shoulders, those will be things that are negatively impactful on your posture, on how you move. Now, what we do in the next part of the runner's rehab is we apply resistance to certain movements within your body that most likely you're not even aware of these movements, that they exist or that they can be done. And this posture retraining starts the process of gait retraining, because how you posture yourself is a a very big factor in how you move through your gait cycle. So if your ankle is stiff and doesn't move the way it should move, if your foot is stiff and doesn't move the way it should move, if your knee is stiff and doesn't move the way it should move, your hip, your pelvis, your spine, your shoulders, your head and your neck, we cover from head to toe in the runner's rehab. It's that good. It's brilliant. We cover head to toe. We do all the movements that you're probably most likely to be struggling with, and you don't even know, because you never knew that these movements were movements that you struggle with. We work on coordinating these movements and making it so that they are coordinated, because how you run is a coordinated effort. It's not just one muscle. You know, a lot of people tend to think that, oh, all I've got to do is just strengthen my glutes and everything's going to be great. But it isn't, and that's not how it works. So the lower body must connect with the upper body. The upper body helps the lower body. The left side of your body helps the right side of your body, and the front side helps the back side. We've got somebody running towards us right here. Now, something I've said before, 50% of your body is moving in a backwards direction, while the other 50% is moving in a forwards direction. All right, so how you coordinate all these movements is really, really key. And if you're not coordinating them very well, then it's just not going to happen in a way that's going to be conducive to a well-functioning, efficient, economical gait cycle. So what we look to do in the runner's rehab with those exercises is we look to work on the movements that are probably lacking. We do a lot of postural work, alignment work, getting you into a more vertically stacked and easily movable position. Now, there's commonalities that most injured runners have, and these are the commonalities that we work on with the runner's rehab. Now, I know a lot, maybe if you're listening to this, you're going to be thinking, oh, but I'm different, I'm special, I'm different, I need something specific for me. You don't. You don't need something specific. What you need is the runner's rehab. Oh, but I have this particular thing. Yeah, we'll work on that in a runner's rehab. Oh, but I played this sport. It doesn't matter. We will work on that in the runner's rehab. All of these things. Oh, I've got previous injuries. Yeah, we'll work on that in a runner's rehab, because we do the self-myofascial release work and we'll identify it in your gait analysis. So it doesn't matter. It genuinely does not matter what injuries you've had, what injuries you've got. We will fix it, we will work on it, we will improve it with the runner's rehab and the basic 8. I'm not going to talk about the basic 8 today. I'm just talking about the runner's rehab. Now, this is something that becomes the foundation of every training session that you do. All right, it's when I teach my online classes, my live online classes, I start with some of the runner's rehab exercises in that class, in every single class. And anybody who's done those classes will know, they'll be able to tell you how much I focus on those exercises, because they are fundamental, they are foundational to your body. It's like building a house with a crappy foundation. It's not going to last very long, and that's what happens to a lot of runners. They start running, they start training for races or events or whatever. They have a crappy foundation, and the foundation doesn't do its job, and you get injured, you fall apart, things go wrong, you don't move very well, and also you don't have a plan. You don't have a go-to plan for when things creep up on you, because when I run, I might get a little niggle here and a little niggle there, but the thing is that I have a plan and I know what to do. I don't panic about it, I don't worry about it, because I just go straight to the runner's rehab and I start working on it. And that's what it does. It gives you a plan of action that is very specific, it's very structured, and there's video tutorials through the whole thing. Now, when you've worked on the runner's rehab and you've felt the difference that it makes You'll be much more aware of things, movements that you didn't do or that you weren't able to do. You'll be so much more aware, and you will have a tool or a group of tools for the rest of your life. That is also super important, because like I said, you know, when I go out and run and I get a little niggle here and there, it doesn't happen very often these days, but I get a little niggle here and there, I will then go and work on it, specifically go and work on it, amongst all the other things that I'm doing, which is not exhaustive. It's just an ongoing thing. It's like every day when I come down to the beach and I do a walk, it's just something that I do. I just build it into my day. All right, so the runner's rehab is the analysis tool. It's the gait analysis. It's the structural rehabilitation for your posture, for your movement. It's finding the areas where movement is not particularly great. Maybe it's a bit of movement amnesia, and we restore that movement. We work on those things, and we do the soft tissue releases, the self-myofascial releases, to help those tissues kind of calm down. We calm everything down. Now there's one last thing, which is the breath work that we do. And breathing is again, you do it all day, every day. You do it at night when you're sleeping, you don't even know. But if your body is stressed, your breathing patterns are going to be stressed out as well. And when your breathing patterns are stressed out, your body's going to be more stressed out, your brain's going to be stressed out. And your tissues, your fascial tissues, your muscles are going to be stressed out. So what we do with those breathing exercises is we use those regularly. I do those daily. It only takes about 5 or 6 minutes every day. I do them in bed at night. I do them before I go to sleep, and I sleep like a baby. I sleep so well, so deep. And it helps me to be a lot more relaxed. Helps my body to be a lot more relaxed, and it really has helped with my body improvements over the years. And that is what the runner's rehab is all about, getting your body to improve so that you can improve how you move. Improvement of your movement. That's my little thing. All right, tune in tomorrow. We'll be talking about the basic gait and what it can do for you. Have a great day. Bye bye.